welcome to the channel. It's Kay, and in today's swatch sesh, I am featuring my least favorite color palette. We're talking about fall, and we are excluding Halloween because Halloween is separate content for me, and I am really excited about the Halloween content that I have planned. But let's just focus on today's video, which I am so detached from the autumn color palette that sometimes I doubt myself and I wonder, like, wait, is that actually a fall appropriate nail polish, or am I just sliding it into this video because it's a nail polish that I would wear during fall? What do you even mean I can't put stagnant water in all my videos? You'll have to let me know. So let's get into the sesh and check out my hopefully appropriate fall picks.
Berry Juice by Sylvanclaw. We kick off the first fall sesh of 2025 with Berry Juice, who is more on the simpler side when it comes to the amount of ingredients, right? But it is the specific choice of ingredients that landed this polish a spot in this video. I would describe Berry Juice as a plum color, but Sylvanclaw details this as a berry purple that is nicely fed with pink shimmer and golden reflective glitters. Now, the first coat can be a little bit deceiving, though. You might think this is a brighter tone than what it actually is due to the sheerness. You'll start to see how the base takes on more of that plum-ish color once you move on to the second coat, and you also start to get a nice hit of reflective elements since they start to become a lot more visible right against that dark purple canvas. Take a look at that amazing result. Purple and gold are the main colors you instantly see. It's so regal, so elegant, very fall in my opinion. Now, if I turn on a brighter lamp, you get a better glimpse of those pink shimmers. I'm not completely sure of what's going on with the reflectives though, but no matter how I angled the light, I couldn't really get them to pop more than what you're already seeing. Maybe the polish was just made that way, but either way, it's fantastic. It's very moody, and I think it makes for a really great fall manicure. Dijon Disco by Cracked Polish. Next up, we have a polish that was originally created for the Prugly Polish Pals Facebook group, but I guess it was so prugly that Cracked gave it a permanent spot. So what we have here is an olive green base teaming up with orangey gold shimmer that can even look reddish at certain angles. Now, that first coat coverage, it's good, but it's not fully opaque, so a second coat will be needed. And if you're a fan of these pretty ugly or prugly shades, then it is your lucky season, because I think these yellowy, muddy green colors make a pretty good match to this time of the year, in my opinion. Notice that fire in the shimmer. Cracked describes it as a orange/gold, but maybe the olive green base is playing tricks on us because it is leaning towards that reddish warmth. This is not a polish I would have ever checked out on my own. Cracked did send this to me in PR, but I'm glad they did because I'm digging this. I feel like sometimes you just gotta wear a polish to actually know if you vibe with it or not. Shut the Front Door by Cracked Polish. So this was actually a pick that I almost forgot to include in this video. I knew I wanted a blue, and I actually had to come back to swatch it. That's why I have a whole manicure here. So Shut the Front Door is part of Cracked's Catchphrase collection, and it is a blackened ocean teal. It looks metallic in my opinion because of the way it reacts in the light. And that first coat that I just laid down, it was fair, coverage was nice, but even then there was some sheerness to it, so a second coat was needed. Now, in thinking of the types of blues to include in this video, I thought a darkened teal with a strong sheen would be best because you kind of get the best of both worlds since the edges of the nail remain quite dark, which is perfect for fall, but then head on the polish looks very bright. I think this polish is kind of like my last resort or my attempt to drag some brightness into this predominantly neutral and earthy color toned season, which is autumn. From all of the teals that I have been hoarding and not wearing, this is one that I had yet to show on the channel, so even though I almost forgot it, it definitely worked out. Gate of Hell by Mooncat. Moving on to Mooncat and this dearly departed shade, but I had to include it even if it's just for inspiration because what we have here is a multi-chrome polish that shifts from black to red, and within it, you guessed it, we have some holographic glitter. It's actually micro-sized, which are already making its way through the base, through my lens, and straight into your eyeballs. As tiny as they are, they're actually more noticeable than you would expect, or that I expected at least. And I think that what's helping them is the amount of holographic glitter that we have. There's really not an area on the nail that is not twinkling ever so gently with those pops of tiny rainbow colors. Under this lighting, the base actually looks rather purple, like a really darkened, almost black purple, but when I add a more strong, direct light source, you can see that red coming through in the base, and then it retreats to black as I move the nail around, but all the while those hollow glitters persist on twinkling. If you really dig this vibe, you can look into ILMP's hollow version of Eclipse as a possible, not exact dupe, but a similar looking polish that is still very fall appropriate, and most importantly, it's still available. Batmaru by Eyed Lacquer. Next up is this amazing autumn concoction. We have a lot going on in this brew, starting with the base, which seems to be a darkened brown color that blesses us all with its color shifting flakies going from hues of yellows to orange tones. It's white hex glitters, pale green hex glitter, and we also get those same glitters but in a much smaller size, so we have some size variety, which is nice. There's definitely a lot of fall fun packed in this polish. I'd say this is definitely one of the more playful autumn polishes that I've personally seen. The amount of elements we get in that base really does help cover up the nail really nicely, and they team up really well. Those color shifting flakies add an extra layer of dimension and also movement to the formula that just benefits it like to the max. And it's actually available right now on the Eyed Lacquer website, which is kind of surprising to me because I bought this polish last year and I thought it would be sold out by now. Down with Authority by Cracked Polish. Absolutely digging this polish's name, and I'm noticing that it has a strong name, A simple formula, but a strong impression, and I can't wait to show you and talk about why. So what we have here is a deep red base, but I'm gonna go beyond that to say the base is a little berry leaning. I could see a magenta tone, and enveloped within that we have red shimmers that also give off a orangey shift or glow, at least in the bottle. Although the end result, it's lovely. It's very sultry, right? The look that we have here. I am not seeing that orangey glow effect as strongly as I did in the bottle. I do understand that glass can create a certain effect on the way a formula appears, especially when they stick to the walls of the bottle, but I'm just pointing that out here. Regardless, this turned out to be a beautiful, elegant, deep, shimmery red. And even though I feel like dark reds can be worn throughout the year, it felt very appropriate to have it join the fall picks. Lahar by Cracked Polish. I completely forgot to hit record on the first coat, so I guess we're starting on the second here. So what we have is a magnetic polish, which I'll first be showing unmagnetized so that we can see how this ash gray base mixes with that copper to gold magnetic pigment. Then I'll be moving on to the lightsaber and velvet styles. Check out how nice this is. With the magnetic pigment and base color being mixed up and scattered across the nail, you mainly get a red glow effect that just emanates from that gray base. I think this polish looks quite unique in my opinion, but it does yearn for the magnet, and in doing that we're left with that clean line of reddish coppery golds. Notice the base. Can you see those tiny black speckles? I'm not exactly sure what that is, but there are some tiny little dark elements floating throughout that gray base, which gives it a volcanic vibe, which is what this polish seems to be inspired by. So let us move on to the velvet style, which may remind you of the unmagnetized version, but the main and most striking difference is that the glow coming from that magnetic pigment is so much stronger, and it also moves around with the nail, creating this 3D effect that also just makes your nail look like a void of never-ending polish. Ultimately, you know what this means, right? 3 looks for fall in just one polish, and I'm not even including all of the other cool magnetic styles that you can do with this polish, but I think you got the idea, or at least inspiration for fall, thanks to Lahar. TLDL, here are my fall picks for this year. I do feel like I'm lacking variety when it comes to elements, but the thing is, autumn colors with fun ingredients, or what I consider to be fun ingredients like batmaru, are harder to find, or at least that's what my experience has been, honestly. But I definitely did my best here in staying within the, how do I say this, like maybe the tight constraints of the classic autumn color palette, which, you know, I'm not so fond of, but I'm glad that I was able to include a variety of colors here, like green, we got some red, purple, and even the blue, even though I almost left it out. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. Feel free to drop your fall favorites so that I can go nail polish hunting. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the new. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching so much. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.